Hey there, Nation, and welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Cheapskate, and we are back with an episode of Anarchy Road Season 2. This is a series of Necromunda Ash Wastes battle reports, and this is battle report number 4. It is a Wasteland Encounter Scenario that is fought between my two friends, Sister Serial as well as Warlord Ace. My friend Warlord Ace is bringing Section 8, which is his Venators gang, versus my other friend, Sister Serial, who is playing the Main Force Patrol, which is a Badzone Enforcer gang. So as you can see, both of these gangs are facing off in a Wasteland encounter. And interestingly enough, this battle is actually fought between husband and wife as well. My two friends, Sister Serial as well as Warlord Ace, are actually married in real life, and so we good old-fashioned husband and wife throwdown. And we're going to see once and for all who holds law and order in the Ash Wastes, whether it's going to be the Badzone Enforcers or the Venators. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, play some background music real quick. As the music is playing, we'll show you photos of both gangs as well as their rosters. If you're interested in seeing exactly what my friends are bringing for this one, you may pause and take a look at your own leisure. So that being said, let's get this battle report on a roll.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dying times here.
So the scenario rules for this one is Wasteland Encounter. It takes place in the Wild Waste, which means that it has shifting dunes, so the battlefield is a difficult terrain. If a model does not move during their activation, they suffer a wound or lose a hull point. This will take place in the Season of Flame, which means that 24-inch visibility rules are in effect. And for the crews on this one, both sides get randomly D3 plus 1 fighters to start with, and the rest of the gang's fighters' vehicles are set aside for reinforcements. In this situation, both my friends Warlord Ace and Sister Serial both rolled up 4 fighters apiece. Now for deployment, both sides roll off. Winner picks a fighter and deploys within 12 inches in the middle of the battlefield, and players alternate deploying their fighters, place them anywhere at least 12 inches away from any enemy fighter. Now for gang tactics on this one, 2 gang tactics per player plus 1 tactic for each 100 points of difference between the gang ratings. We don't really use gang tactics in my gaming group, so we skip this part. Now for ending the battle, if either gang has no models left on the table by the end of the round, the game ends. And as for the reinforcements, at the start of each end phase, both gangs receive reinforcements. Each receives D3 randomly chosen models arriving within 2 inches of any random battlefield edge, at least 2 inches away from any other model. Now as for the rewards on this one, the winning gang earns D3 times 10 credits. In a situation where there's a draw, both sides earn D3 times 5 credits. For anybody who actually participates in the battle, they earn 1 point of experience for the participants. As for reputation, they get plus 1 for each side if they're fighting each other for the very first time, and the victorious gang earns D3 points of reputation. So with the scenario rules over, let's go and talk about battle plans and deployments. Alright, so starting with deployment for the Main Force Patrol, this is the Badzone Enforcers that played by my friend Sister Serial. On the left-hand side, that fighter's name is Lockdown Vasquez. They are a Badzone captain. They got armored undersuit, layered flak armor, as well as a web gun, as a stub gun for a backup weapon. They're also equipped with manacles, as well as a threat response skill. Right next to them on the right-hand side, that is Judge Drake. Judge Drake is a Badzone patrolman with armored undersuit, mesh armor, heavy stub gun with dum-dum rounds, manacles, as well as the broken supply line special rules, as well as the specialists for their gang as well. On the right hand side were the last 2 fighters for Sister Serial. On the right hand side, that fighter's name is Punisher Keel. He is a Badzone patrolman. He's got armor undersuit, mesh armor, and an enforcer shotgun that has salvo and shredder rounds. He has a stub gun with dum-dum rounds, manacles, as well as the broken supply line special rule. And right next to him on the left hand side, that is Darko D111. That's another Badzone patrolman who's got armor undersuit, mesh armor, enforcer bolt gun, stub gun with dum-dum rounds, manacles, as well as the broken supply line special rule. And that makes up the deployment for my friend Sister Serial for this one. So moving on to deployment for my friend Warlord Ace. Up in the front, they have 2 fighters mounted on bikes. On the left-hand side, that guy's name is Kazi Gobsmasher. He's a hunter who's got mesh armor and autogun, as well as blasting charges and a flail, and he's also mounted on a Waster's dirt bike. And right next on the right-hand side is the Warboy, who's another hunter who's got mesh armor, autogun, blasting charges, also got a flail, as well as a Waster's dirt bike. And finally, for his last two fighters on the back, Mortal Ace on the his leaders on the upper left-hand corner. That character's name is the Saracen. He's a hunt leader. He's got armored undersuit, mesh armor, hot shot, last pistol, chainsword, as well as the overseer skill. And right next to him on the right-hand side is the Pig Killer, who's another hunter. He's got a hazard suit, as well as a shotgun with solid and scattered shot, as well as a flail, and he's also packing incendiary charges. And that makes up my friend Warlord Ace's deployment on this one. So with deployment over with, we go directly to battle plans. Alright, so let's go and talk about battle plans real quick. So I talked to my two friends before the game started, after they got done with their deployments real quick. Talked to them individually so that way they wouldn't be able to hear each other's plans. For Sister Serial, her plan is actually play very cautiously. Her plan is actually have her enforcers actually drop back behind these Jersey barriers here so that way they can take cover and also shoot from cover positions directly at the Venators. So that way all they got to do is wait for reinforcements to arrive, and hopefully they can then swarm and surround the Venators and defeat them real quick. Now for my friend Warlord Ace, his plan is actually to send his two hunters on bikes on kamikaze mode, have him throw blasting charges at both sets of enforcers. Meanwhile, his leader, the Saracen, as well as Pig Killer in the back, will then flee behind these Hesco barriers back there, maybe behind his hedgehogs, that way they can take cover, and then he's going to wait for more of his guys to actually show up on the battlefield and actually help out and hopefully defeat the enforcers that way. Either way, my friends have some very interesting plans, just pretty much kind of holding out until more fighters arrive, so we'll see exactly how it goes. So with that being said, we go directly to the top of turn number 1, and both of my friends will roll off for initiative to see which of them will have priority. We'll be back after their first turn activations. Alright, so we go directly to the top of turn number 1, and my friend Sister Sarah actually got to go first with the Badzone Enforcers, the main force patrol. So the first thing she does, she activates Lockdown Vasquez, who also has a group activation with Judge Drake real quick. So what she decides to do is that Lockdown Vasquez actually moves up a normal movement allowance, open fires with her web gun directly into Kazi Gobsmasher, which the hunters mount on the bike. Now, unfortunately for my friend Sister Sarah, she failed to wound him, so because he was perfectly fine, so she does follow through with Judge Drake, who opens fire with his heavy stubber, firing 3 shots and actually wounding twice directly onto the hunter as well. So Kaza Gobsmasher does take a serious injury, so he goes crashing to the ground and is currently bleeding out. Now from there, of course, my friend Warlord Ace, he then activates his Warboy. The Warboy is a hunter who actually moves up into his normal movement allowance, so that way he's within range to throw a blasting charge directly into the two fighters. They both get hit and as well as pushed back because of knockback. Managed to put 3 damage on each of these guys as well. Puts a serious injury directly onto Judge Drake, so he is currently bleeding out, and managed to take out Lockdown Vasquez as well. Puts a grievous injury on him, so because Lockdown Vasquez will not participate in this battle report or the next one because he'll be put into recovery. And that makes up the turn 1 activation so far. So with that being said, we go directly to Sister Serial for the rest of her activations. So for the rest of the turn, Sister Serial then activates Punisher Keel. Punisher Keel does a simple action to move behind this Jersey barrier, and a basic action open fire with a combat shotgun firing salvo rounds. Unfortunately for Sister Sarah, though, she missed her shots, so because of that, nothing much really happens from there. Now from there, of course, my friend Warlord Ace then activates the Saracen. The Saracen uses his Overseer ability on the Pig Killer. So the Pig Killer moves for first set of activations. It does double move forward, travels 8 inches, and then does a second set of activations. Then moves up forward as normal movement allowance, open fires a solid slug directly into Judge Vasquez. Managed to put a serious injury as well as 2 more flesh wounds onto him with that solid slug shot. So because of that, he is currently in a bad way. During the recovery phase, if Sister Sarah rolls a flesh wound, this guy will automatically go out of action, so at best she can just keep him seriously injured is all she can really do. Now from there, of course, for a very last activation, Sister Sarah then activates Darko D111. He basically takes a basic action to aim with his bolt gun and fires his bolt gun directly into the Warboy. Now he does manage to hit him, but unfortunately for Sister Sarah, she fails to wound, so he's just currently pinned. And to make matters worse, she also rolled up an ammo roll. Now traditionally for Paladin Enforcers, that wouldn't be a problem because bolt guns can be reloaded on a 4-up, but because of the broken supply line special rules attached to Badzone Enforcers, her ammo roll now is a 6-up, so that is really, really bad for her as well. So because that causing all kinds of problems. And with that takes directly to the end of the action phase. So with that being said, we go directly to the end phase. Alright, so now we're back for the end phase. So first of all, both gangs actually managed to pass their bottle test, so both of them are perfectly fine at that point. At the same time, when it comes to injuries, Kazi Gobsmasher, he is still currently seriously injured, so he's still laying on the ground, currently bleeding out. Unfortunately for my friends associated, will know flesh wound for Judge Drix because he does go out of action with a humiliating injury. So because he will go into recovery and lose 1 to his leadership as well as 1 to his cool as well. Now reinforcements, of course, did arrive for the main force patrol. Unfortunately, she only got 1 reinforcement, so Sister Serial managed to get, I believe his name is Foth. He's armed with mesh armor, sawed-off shotgun, flail, blasting charge, He's got a Waster's dirt bike. He's also got the expendable special rule, so he shows up over here at this table edge. Meanwhile, for my friend Warlord Ace, he got much more lucky than that. On the top, we got Noose Taggart. He's one of his hunters. That guy's packing, let me see, he's got hazard suit, shotgun, a flail, as well as incendiary charges. Over here, we have Bubba Zanetti, which is one of his other hunters. This guy's armed with mesh armor. He's got a hotshot lasgun with a telescopic sight, as well as a flail. And then finally over here, we also have one of his champions as well. That's Red Cap Killer. Red Cap Killer is packing twin hotshot las pistols. He's also got the fast shot ability, mesh armor, as well as an armored undersuit. And that pretty much makes up the end phase for this. So with that being said, we go directly to the top of turn number 2. And once again, my friends roll off for initiative to see which of them will be going first. Alright, so we go directly to the top of turn number 2. And this time my buddy Warlord Ace gets the initiative on this one, so he'll be going first. So the first thing he does, he activates Bubba Zanetti. Bubba Zanetti does a basic action to aim with his telescopic sighted hotshot lasgun. And he opens fire directly into Foth. Managed to hit him as well as wound him as well. Managed to put a flesh wound on that guy, so because he's currently pinned and he is currently bleeding out as well. Now from there, of course, my friend Cicero then activates Judge Darko. Judge Darko does a double action to charge directly into the Warboy and engages him in close combat. Unfortunately, both of them are unable to do anything against each other. Either they couldn't hit or they couldn't wound one another, so they're still engaged in close combat. And then from there, of course, we go directly to my friend Warlord Ace, who then activates Red Cap Killer. Red Cap Killer moves up forward his normal moon allowance and opens fire with both of his last guns, hotshot last guns, directly into, I believe his name is Punisher Kale. Managed to put him out of action with an out cold results. Because of that, he also will be not participating in this battle report and also earned Red Cap Killer at a bonus experience point. So that makes up the turn 2 activations so far. We'll come back when we get back with the rest of the round. Alright, so we're back for the rest of the turns for turn number 2 for the action phase. So first of all, my friend Cicero then activates Thoth, which is one of her enlisted hive scum. He does a basic action, get back on his feet again, and he decides to use a basic action to throw one of his blasting charges. He does throw his maximum allowance, maximum distance, but unfortunately just managed to hit 2 inches short of hitting Bubba Zanetti. So because of the grenade explodes and nothing much really happens from there. Now, of course, my friend Warlord Ace decides to activate the Pig Killer. The Pig Killer charges directly into Judge Darko D111, managed to hit him twice with the flail and wound him once, was able to put him out of action with out cold results because that he will no longer be participating in this battle report, but he will make a full recovery. And for the very last activations, my friend then activated the Saracen because Cicero has more fighters. He does a Overseer ability directly onto the Pig Killer, on Noose Taggart. And Noose Taggart does a series of double movements forward, moving up forward 16 inches, making his way directly towards Bubba Zanetti in order to help him out as well. So with the turn 2 action phase over with, we go directly to the end phase. Alright, so that takes us directly to the end of the game, and we'll talk at the end of the game as well as the end phase. So let's go ahead and talk about that real quick. So first of all, what's his name? Kazi Gobsmack. He actually makes a flesh wound roll for his recovery, so because he is 1 point less in his toughness, but that's pretty much about it. But he can still fight, still do all kinds of stuff. Now when it came for the reinforcements on this one, only one more reinforcement arrived for my friend Sister Serial. One of her enlisted hive scum. His name is Boyle, is his name. He managed to rise up on the other side of the table there. But for the rest of the turn, though, once again, a couple of allies actually show up for my friend Warlord Ace. First of all, we have the gun truck. The gun truck, of course, is his Cargo 8 Ridge Hauler, so it finally shows up as well with the Cargo 8 Ridge Hauler crew with their twin Storm Bolters. At the same time, another motorcyclist actually shows up as well. This guy is called, I believe, Erlach the Maniac is his name. And he actually shows up as well in order to support out Bubba Zanetti. And it's this point that my friend Cicero doesn't want to really lose any more fighters as she already has. So because of that, she decides to call the game, and this ends the game early with a victory for Section 8 of the Venators. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, go directly to the after action report because this battle report is now officially over.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Alright, so let's go with the post game, starting off with the main force patrol. So for Sister Sail, she actually suffered 4 injuries on this one. She first of all lost Lockdown Vasquez, who her captain, who suffered grievous injuries, so because of that, fighter will go into recovery and will miss out on their next battle report. Same thing with Judge Drake. Judge Drake suffered a humiliating injury, so because it does go into recovery and also loses 1 point to his cool as well as his leadership. As for Darko 111 as well as Punisher Keel, both those fighters got out cold results, so they make full recoveries, no problem. Now for advancements, no members of this gang did advance at this time, and from their territories, in the near reaches. They managed to score up 7 credits from that and 8 credits from the Shimmer Falls, which brings us to a grand total of 15 credits in total. So during the trading phase, my friend Sister Cyril decided to put all 15 credits directly into the stash. Now, as for reputation, she earns 1 point of reputation from her territories, as well as 1 more point of reputation for fighting against Section 8 for the very first time, which means that her reputation now is a grand total of 3 points reputation. Her Nuka record now is at 0 wins and 1 loss, and her new gang ranking is still at 2,400 points. Alright, so moving on to Section 8, which is my buddy Warlord Ace's Venator gang. He actually suffered no injuries in this battle report. At the same time, none of his members of his gangs advanced either. Now, from his territory, he managed to scrounge up 11 credits from the Cracked Canyon, as well as 12 credits from the Bullet Gate. He also managed to capture the Twins Pass as his new road section, and managed to scrounge up 7 credits from that territory as well. Now, from his credits, he managed to score 30 credits in total, which he placed directly into his stash. As for his reputation, earned 1 point of reputation from his territories, as well as 1 for fighting against the main force patrol for the very first time, and also 2 points of reputation from the scenario, which gives a grand total of 5 points in reputation in total. His new record now is at 1 win and 0 losses, and his current gang rating is still at 2,400 points. So that's good to do for this, you guys. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. Your guys' input is invaluable to us as always. Also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, as well as blogger.com for all the latest greatest hobby news related to this channel. That's good for this, you guys. We'll catch you guys next one. Peace out and stay classy.